Dwight Stephenson, I hope you're having an awesome day, sir. Welcome back to T-Town.
Well, you got it. Having a good time, and good to hear from you guys down there and stuff. I hope everything's going well.
Sure, we've just been in a 2-year drought over here, not winning a national title for 2 years. We feel like we're walking in the Mojave Desert without any water.
I tell you what, we've been really blessed here in Tuscaloosa, no question and stuff, and like to win them all if we can and stuff. So hopefully we'll get back on the winning track this year, winning national championships. Let's see how it goes.
Yes, sir. And we're going to talk about Tua going to your Dolphins too, but let's go to Don Shula for just a couple of minutes. I'm curious, when you hear the name Don Shula, what's the first thing that pops in your head?
I mean, the first thing that pops in my head has always been, just think of the Miami Dolphins, and then I think of a guy that's really was committed to being perfection. He was a winner in so many ways, and a guy that, he was a guy that understood people. I mean, he didn't just help develop good football players. He helped develop good people, and that's something that a lot of people don't know. I mean, some of the things that I've learned from Coach Shula, I still practice them today and stuff, and I heard not just me, but I heard so many other guys say the same thing, that, things that he taught and learned and, insisted on, certain, some of the same things that help us out in our life, in our everyday life, man.
Dwight, you had a chance to play for two legendary coaches. What was the biggest similarity between the two?
Again, I think, same thing with Coach Brown. I mean, he had made people better. And, when I came to the University of Alabama, I was learning about Coach Bryant and Alabama football, and then I got there, and to tell you what, it was at that time probably one of the hardest things I had done. But college football is not easy, but I tell you what, it things I learned on the football field from Coach Bryant, and in the meetings, and in watching, I still carry with them today. The same things, never quitting, working hard, being determined, realizing winning is a process. You don't just go out there and decide that you want to win a game. You got to prepare. You have got to make the sacrifice. You got to believe all these things. And winning is a process. And I think Coach Shula understood that and did that, as well as Coach Bryant. And having good people was part of it, and helping develop good people was part of the process. I feel both of them felt that way.
You were in construction. You own your construction company, Dwight Stephenson Construction, D. Stephenson. Right. There. I'm curious. Do you ever catch yourself saying things to your employees that remind you, like the minute you say it, does it take you back to Coach Bryant or Coach Shula?
It does, and sometimes just like anything else, you have some good, you have good years, you have good months.
Sure.
And you have some months that are not so good. You have some good days, and some days aren't so good. And just like in football, you have some games that you go out there and things go really well, and then some games you got to really grind it out, manage to win, and you don't quit. You do those things that winners do. You don't. And when things get tough, they don't quit or find a reason to quit. They find a way to win or to turn this situation to a positive there. And so I do. We've had some years in construction when it might not have been that good. And I can remember Coach Bryant when we were playing the University of Tennessee one year, we fell behind maybe 21-0, I think. And we go in the locker room at halftime. Coach Bryant, he walks in there and says, "Look, he said, I know you guys think we're gonna go out here and get lucky and try to win this game throwing the football. Get lucky, get a long pass, or throwing this ball up and down the football." He said, "We're gonna do this thing the sure way, and we're gonna do this thing the hard way." And he said, "We're gonna run the football." And we went back out there that second half, and I tell you what, we did just that. We went out there and knew that we knew that we had to win that game or whatever stuff. And we believe Coach Bryant, he said that, and we did. We went out there and we acted out. I mean, we ran the football defense. I don't think they scored again that game, and we might have won the game like 24-21 or something like that. But it was those moments like that, and you have moments similar to that in the construction business. Times, we can't. There's no easy way to get this done, guys. It's hard, and we got to do it. And if we want to win, you want to be successful in the construction business. These things you have to do, and you have to get them done. So I do.
Dwight, is that the game that Coach Bryant knocked the door off the hinges, or is that another game?
He might have, I'm telling you, knocked the door off the hinges, but he would go there with no doubt. He meant what he said. And when Coach Bryant said something, he didn't say it loud, probably, but he never really yelled it. He'd say it, and he meant it. And but all I know is that we went back out there that second half, and we knew we better win that game. And we won that thing 24-21. I think that was the score. It was in Birmingham. And I think as a team, we got a little cocky. We were feeling good about ourselves. I think we might have been undefeated, and Tennessee might not have been. Maybe they were probably a good football team, no question. Tennessee can always beat us and stuff like that. So, but we went out there a little too relaxed, probably. And before we knew it, we were down 21-0, and we knew we had to pull that thing out, and we did. So thank God.
Was the first championship? Because I know the expectation when you arrived here at Alabama, you guys were going through the greatest dynasty in the history, and you guys continued that. Was the first national championship harder, or the second national title more difficult for that team?
I tell you, the first one was probably harder, and we felt that we probably were a good football team, and we stumbled early in the year, and I think my sophomore year, we finished number 2 in the country. I think we finished number 2, and we beat Southern Cal. Then the next year, we came back and we played Southern Cal again, and we lost to them pretty early in the year. So anyway, we were working our way back and trying to get back into the number 1 spot and so forth and so on. And Coach Brown would tell you that don't worry about where we're today at the end of the year. That's the one that counts. And so we were working hard and winning football games and trying to do what we needed to do. And showed up at the end of the game. At the end of the year, we did. We got a split decision or whatever on the national championship, but we did. I'm not sure if we won the ATI or the UPI. The AT or the UPI. But we were national champs, so we were happy about that. And then the next year, it was hard. But I tell you what, we defensive wise, they went out there and they played well. They did what they had to do. And offensive wise, we were a seasoned team. Offensive line, I think we had played together for like probably 2 years. Most of us there on the offensive line, and so we were a good football team. And we had running back, Major Ogilvy and Stephen Shilla, he's the quarterback there. But we had some good college football players, and made the sacrifice and to be a good football team. We might not be had the individual talent, like someone who ran a Heisman, but as a team, we played well together. I'm telling you, we were a really good football team ourselves.
Let me take you to the Alabama game, 1978 with Washington. You look at Don James was Nick Saban's mentor, and it's a small world, even though it's a big world. But there's a lot of connections when you study. We had Warren Moon on a few years ago, and he talked about Don James and talked about how much the process that we hear so much about now was really, you go back and you study it, it's under Don James. But can you take us back to that Washington-Alabama game? What stood out about that game? It was a win for Alabama, 20-17.
You're right. It was a very close game, and I think they had a wide receiver by the name of Spider Gaines, maybe, I think. Anyway, and he had a pretty good day against the Stewards well and stuff. But we knew out there we were literally fighting for our, to come out of there with a victory and stuff. But we flew out to the West Coast, and it was a long time ago, but I know it was a very close game, and they had a really good football team. They had a couple of good defensive linemen, and I forgot the gentleman's name, and he played in the league for a while. But anyway, but they had some good football. Had a good football team and some good football players out there and stuff. So, but it was a game that it was a close game and a hard-fought game. It was.
Dwight, I'm curious. We have a lot of the former players on. It's a unique fraternity at Alabama. Cross generations, whether it's 70s or 60s or current day, that uniqueness, that brotherhood. It's like you have 100 brothers out there, and it's a continuation year by year by year. You may not see that as an outsider, but I see it as an outsider. The inside of that program, it is a brotherhood. It's a fraternity that you guys are so close.
Right. That's one of just beautiful things and things I really like about it. I mean, we really like being a part of the alumni club and the A club and playing there at the University of Alabama. It's like a family. I mean, it's once you're part of it and stuff, you go somewhere and you see somebody and it's like, hey, you say Roll Tide, and boy, you really connect, and it means a whole lot. And I can just think about some of the guys that I played with and stuff, and we really have a good connection. I mean, connection, and we keep in touch with one another, and so just think about some of the guys I played with and stuff. The great Terry Jones. I mean, I just the strength coach there, and
Sure.
Great player, and played for the Green Bay Packers and stuff. And I just I think that he's one of the most unselfish players to ever play there at the University of Alabama. When he was asked to switch in his senior year, which he was projected to be All-American at the center position, when he switched for the team's sake and went over there and played defensive line and did a wonderful job, an outstanding job, and he was drafted by the Green Bay Packers and played for 8-9 years, and then he had a Achilles heel injury. But he could have went over there and very easily messed up and didn't do well or whatever. So Coach Bryant put him back at center, and then I would have had to find someplace else to play. But he did that for the team. People don't know about those kind of stories. I think that those are great stories. And the guy, he did that, and it worked out well for him, and it worked out well for me too. I mean, as far as the football team that year, we did. We went on. We lost. Like I said, we lost one game and finished number 2 in the country. But those are the kind of people, that help make up this Alabama family here and stuff. And,
Well, do you remember how that went down? I mean, how did it? Can you kind of connect us with the inside of that story?
You know what? I came in as a freshman, and I'm gonna tell you, I was out of Virginia, and so I came down. And but Terry Jones and they put me at the center position. And Sylvester Croom was he worked with the JV team, and I was on the JV. So I mean, I played on JV, but I was taught by Sylvester Croom and then Jack Rutledge. I mean, two outstanding coaches, and then Sylvester, just come back from the pros. Things didn't work out there, but he was the boy. He knew how he could play the center position and stuff. So I had a chance to play with him and play for him. And then Terry Jones was on varsity, and he was doing really well and stuff. So I had a chance to watch Terry Jones. And then when it came to spring ball, that after that season had ended, came to spring ball, and Coach Bryant, I think the coaches among themselves wanted to see if one of us could play defense. And they put me on defense at defensive end or outside linebacker. Yeah. And I don't know. That was kind of like I was like a fish out of water out there and stuff, I think. And so anyway, so that didn't work out too well. They said, okay, well, let Big T, you go over, and Terry Jones, you go and you try it on defense. And he went over there, and like I said, he did a wonderful job, and the defense did really well. And but the story is that they didn't really want to switch Terry Jones, Coach Moore, Mel Moore, and all of them. It's like their job. I mean, it was like All-American center you're gonna try this unproven guy here and stuff. But anyway, they found a convinced coach. From what I understand, they were convinced of it, and they went ahead with it and stuff. And it worked out for me and worked out for Big T. But those are some Alabama stories behind the scene that a lot of people don't know about. But Big T was a special guy.
Who recruited you to the University of Alabama?
Coach Ken Donahue and John Mitchell. They came to Virginia, spent a couple of days there, and then came back, and then I came down for a visit, and then I liked the university, and I said, this is where I wanted to go. And they also wanted 2 other guys that were on my high school football team. They were big All-Americans, and those are the guys that they really wanted. And a lot of people hadn't really heard of me, so. So they, anyway, those 2 guys decided that they wanted to go to NC State, and they went well. They did. They went to NC State, and they did really well. But both of them made all-conference, and one guy played in the league for a little while and stuff. And then I came to Alabama, and things went well for me. I had played with some great guys down here and stuff. So.
Hey, Dwight, final question. Tua Tagovailoa continues in that. I mean, we've had a great connection with Miami and some legendary players. Tua continues that tradition. What do you think about Tua and the Miami Dolphins?
I think he's a great fit. I think he right out there, he was drafted that night or whatever and stuff. And then I got some radio people calling me for interviews, and I called Big T. I said, Big T, again, I'm still leaning on. I said, what do you think about Tua? He said, Dwight, let me tell you something. This guy is going to be good for the football team, and he's going to be good for the community. And he's a great guy. You know, he's the kind of guy that you can really count on. And I've seen him play football. I feel confident he can play quarterback. He can play in the National Football League. I can see that. And I think he seems to be a good individual from everything I've seen and heard about him. So we're excited about him and stuff. And I'm excited for him. And we want to welcome another Alabama guy down here. It's like there's been a great connection throughout the years between the University of Alabama and the Miami Dolphins. So glad to see it continue to happen.
Well, condolences to you and all of your teammates there with the passing of Coach Shula. I wanted to get you on to talk about it and kind of honor his legacy. Thank you for giving us a couple of minutes here in Tuscaloosa. Yeah. Stay safe, Dwight. I hope everything continues to be well. You got it.
And I just want to say Coach Shula was an awesome guy, and his legacy will live on.